Joining us now, the man, the myth, the legend, Thurl Bailey, not only has got the best voice on an NBA pregame, halftime, and postgame show and during the game itself, but also the host of the Rise and Grind podcast as well. You enjoying the podcasting world?
I am loving it, and I had a taste of it a few years ago, but I wanted to do my own thing and decided to jump back in and do some storytelling, hopefully some inspirational storytelling from people who, all of us. I don't know anybody who hasn't, had a dream of doing something, being successful, and a lot of people are kind of talked out of that sometimes, and I think they just need some inspiration and hear other people that are like them and have some of the same ideas. So I decided to look at all industries, from sports to business to youth, and then find those stories that woke people up in the morning and started to grind, and they kept it going through difficult times. So I really enjoy learning myself from a lot of people who want to tell their stories and hopefully inspire other people to do the same.
Before we get to the Jazz, there's a lot of talented people out there that are successful, but there's a lot of people that just work harder than everybody else. And, we joke about the term grinding, but there's some guys out there that just are willing to put in the work and may not be as talented as somebody else. I bet there's been a lot of great players that could have had huge careers in the NBA, but only Michael Jordan had that work ethic. There are certain guys that combine the talent and the work ethic to be truly special. And, that's got to be part of your DNA as much as the talent is.
Yeah, I think so. And I think sometimes, sports is kind of an outlier because it's a lot of it has to do, there's some great stories out there, don't get me wrong, but it's an ideal world. Right, it's not necessarily a real world situation, and there's only a few who are, there's a lot of guys, a lot of kids put the work in, but it's not all the times that every great player makes it to that level.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a select few, and there are players who are probably better or more equipped than some who have made it that just haven't gotten the opportunity. But I think my thing is that a lot of times just in our life, we're kind of talked out of it. We go through things that throw us off course, and we never get back to those dreams. And, so it's the difficult times. It's the times we try to talk ourselves out of things because we're afraid to fail. And those people who have been successful have learned that, failure is part of it. You just have to tweak it and keep going. So that's why I really enjoy storytelling myself and also seeing how other people have done it.
It's the Rise and Grind podcast with Thurl Bailey. The Jazz grinding through this season. 3 games left. You got New Orleans coming up tonight. The Jazz trying to position themselves the best place they possibly can be for the upcoming draft. But this season feels quite a bit different than last year. When that season ended last year, I know that was a hard season for everybody involved, but this season, even though the wins may not have been there, it just feels like there's a different vibe around this team. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, I would agree with you because I think we're much closer to just pushing ahead. Some things have been done. The Triple J trade obviously was a sign that, we are starting to take those assets and trying to get to a point where we can power forward through, to the playoffs and hopefully chase a championship. But the other part of this is knowing that we've got a core group of guys. So what are you going to build around them? Who are these young players who are going to make their mark and maybe get a spot on the team? So it's been fun for me and Bowler to watch the development of some of these young players and who are getting an extended opportunity right now to go out and showcase themselves and prove that they belong at this level, belong to stay at this level.
Ace Bailey is going to be a great player in this league. I don't think there's any doubt. But at this time of year, when there's going to be a lot of opportunities, some of these guys are going to score points, but that's just because there's a lot of shots to be had. But I like the way he's getting those points. I like the way that he's getting to the free throw line. He's finishing at the rim. There's a lot to be excited about his in-season development throughout the course of his rookie year. What have you seen from him? And I know that injuries may have caught up with him coming into this game tonight, but what have you seen about his development with these extended opportunities he's been getting?
Well, I think under the circumstances with this team, he has probably benefited. He's one of maybe two or three guys who have benefited the most from it, because he has really been highlighted in a lot of ways. His skills, his talent, offensively, at times he's the primary scorer, so he's had to go in there and work things through and figure it out. In ISOs, on the defensive end, on the help side, his athleticism, contributing to a lot of the blocks he's had and steals he's had. Offensively, we know he's athletic. And I think early on, what we only saw was him being kind of a secondary, even maybe not even that, just trying to put himself in a position to go off the dribble. But now I think his confidence is there where you can give him the ball and he can come off a screen and he can make a play, whether it's for him or somebody else. So I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of confidence in him. And I got to sit down with him in our last installment of Bailey to Bailey and just talk about his first season and what he's learned the most. And he just praises his teammates. And, what I did was I went back in the time machine. I said, I remember your first summer league game, and you weren't very good. It didn't work out very well for you. I said, and I told him I knew how that feeling was, being a high draft pick and all the expectations that come with it, and you won it right now. He said, I did. I said, what's the difference between Ace Bailey then and Ace Bailey now? He said, confidence. He said, I was just patient. I let it come to me. I was coachable, and I learned how to play at this level. I learned the language. I learned the positions. And so you can see all that coming to fruition now for him. And the exciting thing is what's ahead for him. Like you said, Scotty, he's going to be a really good player in this league.
What have you seen out of the development of Cody Williams over the last couple months?
Really proud of him. I think unfairly, when you're a younger brother of a star in this league, people like to compare you. They like to project you. Are you going to be as good as him or better than him? Or what should we expect now that we've seen him play? What do we get out of you? And it's just an unfair comparison. But what I'm really proud of is Cody has done it his own way, right? He's done the G League. He's gotten the reps there. And maybe unfair to him, last year, just kind of thrown into the fire and expected to go out and guard and be successful against some of the best players in the league. But I think over the summer, he knew he had to work on his body, and so it started there. And he had to focus on defense, let the offensive game come to him. But the body part paid off early because getting to the rim. I mean, before that, he was finessing everything, but a lot of dunks this year, and now he's really stretched that out. His defense is better, but offensively, he's working on some things. The dribble, the fadeaway in the mid-range. So his confidence is there as well. It really has benefited him to get those extended minutes as well.
I appreciate guys that, look, if you're in the NBA, at some point you're a high-level scorer, you're the best player on your team, and you had all the accolades. So for a player to come into the NBA and realize, okay, I'm not that at the NBA level, I've got to find a role and really sink my teeth into it to be able to carve out a living. And a guy like John Concher, I don't know what his future holds in Utah. I don't know what his future holds in the NBA, but I love a guy that says, okay, you know what? I need to do the little things. I need to do the dirty work. If that's what it takes for me to stay out here on the court and earn a living, I'm going to do that. And I think the league benefits when there's guys out there that really appreciate and understand their roles and accept them.
Well, I love that you have brought that up, and you appreciate that, because as a former player, that sticks out to me. Right. Everybody can see the guy who is a designated scorer. Everybody can see the guy who may be the great rim protector. But I really think what this league is about collectively is all the guys around him that support him, the guys that go out and they're grinding, if you will. They're fighting to get a name for themselves, and they know that, look, they maybe have been the best scorers, as you said, before that level, but it really is about playing a role, and it's about embracing that and being good at that and giving the team what it needs. And John is a guy who he finds a way, Scotty, to be impactful every time. And no matter how many minutes that is, he goes in and does those things. And look, I know personally, I mean, as a player, I know he's a better three-point shooter than he's showing. And that will come. I don't think he's worried about it. I think this is a time for him, to try to get some of that rhythm and then work on it in the summer. But he's a guy that I like. He's a glue guy. He's a impact guy. When, you've got to bring somebody on the bench to rest, you don't want the game to get away from you. And so he's that kind of guy. And I like what he brings. And, Elijah Harkless is another one of those gritty guys that just is not afraid to stick his nose in there and come out with blood on it. But whoever the offensive player is, they're gonna feel him. And I love what he brings to the game.
When the cavalry comes back and everybody's healthy and this team's firing on all cylinders, what kind of role can Kyle Filipowski have with a team like that?
I love, it's crazy that I get to do what I do, and I love doing it because I have a perspective maybe that's a lot of people don't have. As a former player, as a player who can see beyond the normal. But Flip has figured it out, right? I was proud of him in the Summer League just because, one, he was MVP, but he earned it. But that was a different Flip than I saw earlier in the season. And then something happened, whether it was him getting all those minutes, him being asked to do more than he thought he would have to do at 4 or 5 position defensively and offensively. But he looks like even a little more than that Flip that we saw in the Summer League because he's not worried about anything. He's not worried about making mistakes. He knows he's going to get minutes. He knows he's going to make mistakes. He's not hesitating. He's playing instinctively, and he's gotten better all the way around. He's just working harder. And, I'm sure it's wearing him out a bit, but he doesn't care. He's physical. He's learned how to use that. I think he is going to be a great asset. And look, we all don't know. There's a lot of unknowns this coming year. There's some knowns, but there's a lot of unknowns as far as after that 6th, 7th, maybe 8th man rotation, who's going to be in that. But I think Kyle is making a great, great case to be a major, major part of this Jazz squad.
All right, I know I got to let you go. Couple quick questions. You've been around the league. You've seen all these guys. Look, I know that Cooper Flagg's going to be one of the best players in the league. He's going to be phenomenal. He's got all-stars. He'll probably win a championship or two. I think Con Knipple, though, has had the better season, and if I had to vote, I would give him the Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flagg. Am I off base on that?
No, I said that. I was sitting with my broadcast team, and we were throwing that around, and we had a guest sitting with us that works for the Mavs. And, of course, you know which way he went. But
yeah.
I beg to differ. I mean, I think the same thing. I think Con Knipple has earned it. Cooper Flagg is going to be great, as you said. I think his body of work as of late has been fantastic. I think some of that is also based on his usage and what he's asked to do on that team. He's basically a point forward. and he's got the brightest green light maybe in the league, if you will. But yeah, I think if I were voting, it might be close, but I think Knippel would win it for me because of his consistency that he's had throughout the season. So it's going to be close, but I look at things in a different way. I'm not sure, how they're going to look at it, whether that 50-point games will, tilt them one way or the other. It's impressive, but for me, it is Knippel. Yeah,
awesome. Well, Thurl, we appreciate it. Have a great call tonight. Tell Bowler hi for us, and look forward to catching up with you again here soon.
I will, Scotty. Thank you, brother.
You are the best, man. And we all got a little cooler just hanging out with Thurl Bailey.